You know, when you hear the name 3M, you probably think of stuff like Post-it notes or Scotch tape, right? Innovation. But right now, the company is telling two totally different stories at the exact same time. One is this incredible story of business performance, and the other, well, it's a story about liabilities so huge they could literally define the company's entire future. I mean, seriously, from the command hooks holding up pictures on your wall to the high-tech materials inside your phone, their products are just everywhere. They're woven into our daily lives. It feels like a company we all know.
And that's what makes what's happening right now so wild. Because hiding behind all these everyday products is this high-stakes drama playing out in their financial reports and in courtrooms all over the country. Okay, let's dive into this.
First, let's kick things off with the good news. And honestly, it is really good news. Even with the global economy being kinda soft, 3M just dropped a quarter that blew past expectations pretty much across the board. So, the headline number? Sales hit $6.3 billion for the third quarter of 2025. That right there shows you their core business is strong and is just pulling in some serious cash. And it's not just about the sales on top. Their earnings per share, which is a really key way to measure how profitable they are, jumped a full 10% from this time last year. That is a powerful signal of just how strong their operations are. Now check this out. Let's talk cash flow. They hit a 111% free cash flow conversion. So in simple terms, for every single dollar of profit they reported on paper, they generated $1.11 in actual cold hard cash. That is just exceptionally efficient management. And you can see that improvement right here in their operating margin. It grew by 170 basis points, all the way up to 24.7%. So what does that mean? It means the company isn't just selling more stuff, it's getting more and more profitable on every single sale it makes. So what's their secret? How are they pulling this off?
Well, the answer really comes down to this company-wide strategy they call the 3M Excellence Model. And listen, this is not just some corporate catchphrase, it's the actual operational engine that's driving these incredible results.
This model is their playbook. It's the framework for everything, from how they sell to how they innovate to how they deliver products, and it is very clearly working. It's really all built on a few key ideas. They're cranking up their operational tempo, which means they're turning sales opportunities into wins way faster. Get this, they launched 70 new products in Q3 alone. They're pushing this culture of constant improvement, and it's working. Their on-time delivery rate is over 90%. All of this stuff translates directly to those strong numbers we just saw. So at this point, you'd think 3M is on top of the world, right? And listen, from a pure business operations standpoint, you'd be absolutely correct. But like I said, that's only half the story. Okay, now we have to turn to the other side of 3M's reality, the side that's buried deep inside their legal and regulatory filings. This is where the story takes a very sharp and a very, very expensive turn. And it all starts with something called PFAS. So what even are PFAS? The acronym stands for a mouthful: per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. Basically, they're a class of chemicals that are super durable, which is why they were so useful in products. But that same durability means they just don't break down in the environment, earning them that spooky nickname, forever chemicals. And yeah, 3M was a major manufacturer of them. And that history has led to this. Just look at this number. This one number represents the settlement 3M agreed to with public water suppliers here in the US over PFAS contamination claims. That's not million, that is billion with a B. A truly mind-boggling amount that really puts the scale of this problem into perspective. And hey, this isn't just speculation. This is a direct quote from 3M's own filing with the SEC. The company itself is acknowledging that it could be on the hook for the costs of cleaning all this stuff up. This is the legal reality that's hanging over that fantastic quarterly performance. And, you know, it's not just about PFS. 3M is fighting huge legal battles on multiple fronts. They're facing massive liabilities from their combat arms earplugs, where 99% of claimants have now agreed to a settlement. And they are still dealing with about 3,600 claimants in these long-running respirator and asbestos cases. It's a lot. So with this absolute mountain of legal and financial pressure on them, what is 3M doing about it? Well, they've made a really definitive, and some might even say drastic, decision. They are getting out of the PFAS business for good. And this is not some fuzzy plan for the distant future. They're moving fast. They announced the exit back in late 2022. They've already stopped making PFAS at their huge facility in Belgium this year. And the final deadline? It's right around the corner, a complete exit from all PFAS manufacturing by the end of 2025. Their plan is pretty straightforward. It's really two big steps. First, stop making PFSAs. Simple enough. Second, and this is the really hard part, work to stop using PFSA in all of their thousands and thousands of products. We're talking about a monumental task that means re-engineering entire product lines and supply chains from the ground up. And all of this brings us to the central conflict, the big battle that's going to define 3M for the next decade. It's a fight between a super high-performing business engine and the heavy, heavy anchor of its own past. This right here, this really visualizes the two sides of 3M perfectly. On one hand, you've got this amazing operational excellence, strong growth, and constant innovation. But on the other hand, you have these massive legacy liabilities, the PFAS settlements, all the other lawsuits, and intense regulatory scrutiny. The fundamental question is, which of these two forces is going to win out?
Which leaves us all with this final big question. 3M has always been a company defined by its innovation. This is the company that gave the world everything from waterproof sandpaper to Post-it notes. But the question now is whether its powerful engine of invention can generate enough growth, enough cash, and enough goodwill to finally overcome the immense cost of its own history.